10 years. Before this, I used to work at Santa Monica Mountain Conservancy. I'm a big believer in open space. A big part of my career was out there saving open space. It's something I care deeply about. I'm very concerned here because normally, in the past, when there's been a big project in Woodland Hills, I'm also a Woodland Hills neighbor, by the way. I've lived in Woodland Hills for over 20 years. I've raised my kids here. One's now in college, one's a junior in high school. But usually, when there is a big project in Woodland Hills, I'm able to say to you, I've got your back. We're going to figure this out. We're going to have meetings. We're going to, and when developers come to me as a council member, the first thing I say, they always come to me and say, oh, I want to get a zone change for this. And I always say the same thing. I say, have you gone to the neighborhood council? Have we had community meetings? Because I don't know about how other people work, but I don't do that. I don't do that without involving the community and going through the process. And normally, and as we've had many projects, and many of us worked to get the Warner Center plan put together, which took a lot of work, and I know a lot of people here did it. That's where we wanted to see the road, so that we could protect the single-family neighborhoods outside of the Warner Center area. But normally when there's a big project, and there have been many, and some of you, we've been on opposite sides, we've worked together, but we've always been able to find a balance. We always work through the process. I am very worried about this project because the tools that I have as your council member have been taken away. Normally, there's council discretion, and you're able to add all sorts of requirements. It goes through the CEQA process, goes through the environmental review, it goes through all of these processes. The state law that was sucked in, so just to back up a second, and these developers, they came and they talked to me years ago, back in 2020. I know they talked to you, John, they talked to the neighborhood council, and that's exactly, they wanted to create density and they wanted to have a zone change and different variances, and I told them what I always tell people. I said, that's great, I don't do that, you need to go through the community and we need to have a process. We're going to have, it goes through the CEQA, goes through all. And they've come back and forth a few times, but then it's kind of been radio silence for a while. So I'm like, okay, I guess this is off the radio, off the charts. And then we find out on October 10th of just a couple of weeks ago, just a month and a half ago, the governor signed 45 different bills dealing with housing. SB 79, all these different housing bills. Right. And it was a big move by the legislature, and a lot of it is really good in terms of promoting housing. Some of it I have some issues with, but tucked away in there were a couple of bills that I don't think any of us had any clue about, which remove the discretion on this